Yeah, we tried to start a new. We tried to start a new one. We tried to start a new. Yeah.
But I'm wondering. I'm curious. Oh, sound.
Sound.
Wait.
You guys got. You can. Can you hear me? I can hear you. I can hear you. What'd you do?
Okay.
What did you do?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? That stinks.
Okay, so hot diggity dog.
For the third time, our dog died yesterday. We had to put Sydney down. Yeah, we tried to start a new. We tried to start a new one.
You have to stop us.
Well, there we were. We were way back here.
Okay.
And we had sound for a while. We shouldn't.
Okay.
Good thing you didn't.
I prayed, says Jesus Gonzalez.
You know, anybody whose name is Jesus and prays and they get their prayers answered.
Right.
Quicker.
All right.
So I'm happy that you guys are here. And I hope you guys were able to come off from one stream to the next. 30 minutes later, we're here.
Not 30 minutes. It was a wasted like 8 minutes.
We love you guys. Yesterday we had to put Sydney down. You guys know Sydney. You love Sydney. She was 15 years old. We kept thinking she was 14. I could have sworn she was 14. I thought she just turned 14.
I had a sneaking suspicion she was 15. I think I was the only one.
She's Matt's dog, and Matt had her for 7 years before Matt brought her here with us. 7.5 years, whatever. She was a little over about 1 when he got her. But anyways, you guys know that Jasper, we had to put Jasper down in March. She got really sick, and she was 14. She was 14 and a half. And that was hard, but we had Sydney, so, you know, we were able to kind of, like, Sydney just kept you going and kept you smiling and stuff.
Right.
You just come home, and there she was smiling. But she wouldn't eat after Jasper died. Her eyesight, I think, was a lot worse than we thought it was. And her hearing was a lot worse. I knew it was worse than we thought it was because I come in, she couldn't hear me in the room.
Right.
So I think she was using, like, Jasper's energy, like literal energy, because Jasper could see and hear. Not as well as she could when she was younger, but she could still see us and hear us. And I think Sydney used Jasper as her eyes and ears. Mm-hmm. So when Jasper got up and went somewhere, Sydney did too. So if Jasper went and got a treat from Uncle Jack, then Sydney did too, because, you know, I think that we just kept going into the living room for the past, like, year and find them sleeping. And they weren't always best buddies. Like, Jasper has a hard time getting along with dogs. But we would find them sleeping. I think that Sydney would... One of them, I think it was Sydney, would sit in line, and now I think it was Sydney, would lie next to Jasper. Yeah. To get her energy. Right. And that energy was gone. And I think that it kind of goes to show me, though, that dogs ultimately are dogs, right? Mm-hmm. And that they would, push come to shove, want to be with the pack. Yeah. Than even people. Right. And that's actually a good thing, because it makes me, you know, think more, okay, she wanted to go back to dog world. Yeah. And be with other dogs. I stole my cousin's dog, Nemo, to be with us, as you guys know. Yeah. I don't know, from Sunday. And she drank and she ate some. And then when Nemo went home, because my cousin's son, James, wanted the dog back.
What's his dog back?
Yeah.
It's his birthday today, by the way.
Yeah, well, the good thing is his dog back. Well, Nemo might come visit us a little bit more often because we have a bigger yard, and he can just roam as he wants.
It was just really sudden, which I guess with Jasper it was a really slow decline over like a year, and then probably like a month of really bad.
When was the last show that we've done that we didn't say Jasper or Sydney?
Right,
for you guys.
And so with Sydney, it was like she was great, not great, but it was, you know, kind of normal. She was herself.
Yeah, in her head.
At the very least, and then it was a rapid decline. And so we're trying to weigh which is worse or which is better. I don't know.
For her sake, it was better, I think, for her to go quickly. But she decided to go on her own, I think. And in hindsight, I think when she was refusing to eat at 15, she was trying to tell me that she wanted to go be with Jasper. I knew she wanted to be with Jasper. I didn't know how bad. Yeah. And she's just like, no, you got to let me go. And I think she gave me that time, and she was just like, I'll eat a little bit for you, but listen, I got to go.
Well, our vet was so great because we took her in, and you know that it's time, but at the same time, you still want your vet to confirm it. And he pretty much said to us, like, you're not leaving here with this dog. This is he literally said 100%, 110%, this is the right thing to do. So that made us feel a lot better. So yeah, we came home and the house was really empty. So we just drove to Amish country because it was, and then it's actually really good because on the show right now, like I was afraid if we started talking about it, I would cry, but I think because we had the sound issues.
Yeah. And, for you guys, because we all have stages of grief because we all have loved ones.
Right.
And grief is, and the Lord was showing me this as I took a walk last night. Grief is a gift from God. And you guys, how many of you know that if you get cut, let your cut bleed for a little bit before you stop the blood, because the blood cleanses cleans it out. And if you don't bleed, those are the kind of cuts, the deep ones that don't bleed, those are the ones that you have to worry about, that they can get infected.
Right.
So grief is like bleeding a wound clean, right? Blood is actually a good thing.
Right.
And then you're going to go through stages of grief. We've had Grandma Marilyn. You guys are with us through that. You guys were with us through a lot. And you go through these stages, and I know you guys have loved ones. If you allow God to take you through, grief is a gift. See grief as a gift.
Right.
And cry. Don't stop the bleeding. Cry. Let it come out.
Right.
And then, so you want to go through sadness, and you want to go through memories, and finally you want to go through mourning, sadness, memories, and then contentment and joy. Because if you're grieving something or someone, there was joy or peace or love attached to that.
Exactly.
So then you get back to the love. And if you allow, a lot of people get stuck in an infection because they don't let it bleed, or they let it bleed too long, and they don't allow God to bring them to that place of, let's remember the good times. Right. But you don't want to just, a lot of people go straight to the good times and don't want to focus on the mourning. So it's got to do them all. You're going to have to go through the stages of mourning and grief. Probably several times, 3, 4, 5, 6. For some of you with like really close loved ones, it's going to be several times.
Yeah.
But I'm going to encourage you and say, Jesus saved me, and God loves me. Remember that God loves you. And then eventually, when it comes to like with our grandma and stuff like that, when you come to that, you're going to come to a place where you're at peace, and you don't have the others. You don't have the mourning or the sadness.
Right.
But you'll have the memories with the peace and contentment, because I'm going to tell you the scripture. What does Jesus come to do? What did he come to do? One of the things Jesus came to do was comfort all who mourn.
Yeah.
Jesus came. One of the reasons Jesus came was he saw all these broken hearts and all these grieving people. I mean, the Judaism,
culture is one of
huge
massive
weeping.
mourning.
And even when Lazarus died, right? Yes, we got Friday Cowboy Church, Mega Church going on tonight. Passover for our Jewish friends, and Good Friday for our Christian Catholic friends, and hey, the Friday before Easter for everybody else. Remembering Jesus. And so, if we don't come to you on Sunday or whatever, we're giving you some praise and worship now, but hopefully we will. But anyways, Jesus came to open blind eyes, to set at liberty those that are captive, to comfort all who mourn, and to proclaim the year of Jubilee, that you're free and you get your land back and your stuff back. So the one thing that stuck out to me was he spoke to me, he said, Leah, I came to comfort all who mourn. And when you have the Holy Spirit as the comforter, you guys, this is so real. He will take that open, because grief is a wound, right? He comes to patch it up. And sometimes you have a wound that has to be dressed. A couple times. Yeah. So you take the dressing off, and he cleans it off. That's a really good analogy. And he puts another dressing on there. But he knows that wound will heal, because he keeps it clean. Exactly. And he's the one who dresses it. So sometimes it still hurts, because depending on how deep the wound is, how close you were to that thing that you lost, or that person that you lost. Yeah. Because sometimes it's not even a person that you can lose. You can grieve your house maybe burn down.
Well, I don't know, but you can also grieve like stages of life, a new job.
Your kids get married or something.
Exactly. There are a lot of things in life that we grieve.
So he came to comfort. He didn't want us to live in perpetual grief, is what I'm saying. Exactly. So on that note, Michelle and
Clive said that he lost his boxer on the 6th. She was 8.5 years. I'm
really sorry. And I'm going to tell you something. Dogs have different lifespans. I know that boxers have kind of a shorter lifespan. People that I've known that have boxers, they live about maybe 8 to 10 years is good. If you have a dog that makes it to a good, decent age, be thankful for that.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of friends whose dogs die early. I've had friends whose dogs who are young get hit by a car.
Oh, that's the worst.
I've had that a lot. And on the day we took Jasper or Sydney to go across the Rainbow Bridge, Matt noticed another dog outside running free, and we thought, well, he said, is there somebody with that?
And we're like, oh, sure there is.
And here's the thing, guys. I have been praying that if God wants us to get a new dog, or when God wants us to get new dogs, because 2 are better than 1, or 3. Anyways, that he would just bring them to me. Right. And I know he can do that, right? So here's this dog. And I'm like, I don't think that's my dog, but I better do something about it. So Matt and I get out, and we chase down this dog, getting ready to cross a really, really busy street. Yeah. And I was trying to chase it slowly, because if you chase a dog, like really chase it, it'll just keep running. Exactly. So I grabbed it by its back legs, and it turned around. And you have to be careful, because you never know if it's going to bite you or whatever. Right. And it turned, and it was. I knew it was immediately a good dog. And Matt and I grabbed it by its collar, and we walked it, and we were sitting there, and we're like, this reminds me of so-and-so, which is a client of ours. Yeah. That dog actually got hit by a car. And died. We haven't heard from them since. I call up the number. Same client. Owners. Yeah. Their new dog. And we rescued it. God allowed us to be part of that rescue. Yeah. God knew that dog was going to get out that day. And he's like, you know what? You're going to rescue that dog. Right. You're going to. And I got to rescue another dog on Monday. So I've had some good stories with dogs. So anyways, Michelle and I were singing praise and worship, and we wrote this down because we always get to the end of the show, and we're like, you have a song, and we had like 100 during the week. Here, there's like some button that happens in our brains that we get to do in the show, and I always forget. Well, we wrote it down. So if you're just joining us. Oh, if you're just joining us. Our dog, Sydney, was put down yesterday, and we are going to get to the Mueller report. Are you going to show them the Project Veritas thing? Or tell them about it? Yeah, about the censorship with the banks. And so we have a lot to get to today. Look at all we decided. We were here. I said, look at my little tabs I have up for you guys. We decided to do the song first. A lot of people ask us for songs at the end of the show. And sometimes we're kind of tired and we forget. Yeah. But we're in a mood of praise and worship. And so I hope that you'll stick with us. If not, go get something to eat if praise and worship isn't your thing. Right. If you're watching this on recording, you can fast forward. Yeah, give us 10 minutes and we'll get to all the good news and all the news, but then let's get to the good news first. Because it's Easter, as Michelle and I are talking about. And also, we know that we're not the only ones who go through stages of grief. Exactly. As you just mentioned, your boxer was put down on the 6th. And that's so hard. And we want to share with that. We want to help share those answers that we have. This is one of the answers that we have. So Michelle and I were singing this song this week. This is Here I Am to Worship. I'll let you start it. Light of the world, you stepped out into darkness. Open my eyes, let me see beauty that made this heart adore you. Hope of a life spent with you. Here I am to worship. Here I am to bow down.
my sin upon that cross, I'll never know how much it costs to see my sin upon that cross. Here I am to worship, here
So Stuart the Brit said that we have some distortion when we sing. I don't know anything about
Lord
that.
Jesus.
I don't know anything about adjusting sound on here. I don't even think that my computer has the option to adjust sound. I would have to download a program in order to make that happen. Okay? So you get what you get. And that's what you get.
We need a church. Growing up in the church, he always had like these sound mixers. Like, dude's got like these giant things in order to make them people sound good. What do they sound like without it? It goes up and down and up and down. All right, we got one more song for you guys. This meant a lot to me. This is going through my head this week. And so when you're weak, let him be. The Bible says, when we are weak, he is strong. So I will rather glory in my weaknesses, that the power of Christ may be known.
Exactly. That's really powerful.
Who thunk it? Who would have thought it? Right? I will glory in my weaknesses of the power, but you have to let Christ be strong in you.
Right.
You know?
You can't just be weak and then not let him.
Exactly. When we are weak, he is strong. And don't feel bad when you're weak and going through hard times.
Right.
But allow him to be your strength.
Yeah.
Allow him to be your thoughts. Allow him to be your arms and your feet. So there we go.
You are my strength when I am weak. You are the treasure that I seek. You are my all in all. Seeking you as a precious jewel. Lord, to give up I'd be a fool. You are my all in all. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name.
You slow it down.
Taking my sin, my cross, my shame, rising again, I bless your name. You are my all in all. When I fall down, you pick me up. When I am dry, you fill my cup. You are my all in all. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name. You are my strength when I am weak. You are the treasure that I seek. You are my all in all. Seeking you as a precious jewel. Not to give up, I'd be a fool. You are my all in all. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name. Taking my sin, my cross, my shame, rising again, I bless your name. You are my all in all. When I fall down, you pick me up. Lord, when I am dry, you fill that cup. You are my all in all. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name.
time.
Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name. Jesus, Lamb of God, worthy is your name. Worthy is your name.
Very good. Let me take that away.
I can set it right here. Watch this.
I don't believe it.
Watch this.
I don't trust it.
Watch it go, girl.
Oh my goodness. All right, so if you're just now joining us,
All right.
welcome to Resistance Chicks. That was our singing kind of happy hour because our dog Sydney went to be with Jesus yesterday.
Yep.
So we started off the day, the show, with singing.
And you know what else I'm going to start off with? Because sometimes, you guys, I watch people's shows, because we watch shows, Pink Tree Gallery watches shows all the time. And sometimes I just love to watch, like, the extra funny, the fun videos, okay? So, this is a lion.
What? I don't want to watch a lion get attacked by hyenas.
By a bunch of hyenas. But you know
No,
what?
I don't want to watch this.
What? Wait.
I do not want to watch this.
And you can decide whether you are the lion or the lioness in this, okay? I don't know. Let's see.
What's behind
There
you?
is.
This looks awful. It's already starting off awful.
No.
Not trusting you.
This is the story of my life. Story of your life here.
No.
This is like
It's like Lion King.
Donald Trump.
all over again.
That's like all the media.
Somebody should make that into, I guess,
Like there's CNN, Adam Schiff, Brian Stetler, Jim Acosta.
I don't know. I don't like where this is going.
I feel like the Lion King all over here.
It is. That's like Simba.
And this is why I give Donald Trump a pass for the first 2 years, because this is literally what he's been doing. And they're all like, build the wall. And he's like, I'm just trying to get the hyenas off my back. And here comes the mega group. Ready? That's us. This is the MAGA supporters. This is you and me, guys. This is us on social media. This is the deplorables. Ready?
Oh my god.
We didn't give up. We kept tweeting even though they censored us. We kept making YouTubes even though they demonetized us.
Oh my goodness. It's over?
I know, that's it. That's true. That's true love right there, baby.
Oh.
See,
That is so
you
fun.
can thank me later.
Here, I don't thank you now. Oh my gosh.
Speaking of mega hat,
Redneck Survival says I see Whoopi Goldberg in there.
Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, all them chicks from The View, laughing hyenas is what, and they are really laughing hyenas.
That's
Okay,
so
so
true.
get this, you guys. 2 men are charged with assault and robbery after beating a man wearing a mega hat.
Again?
Mm-hmm.
Leave it alone.
2 men in Maryland were arrested and charged with assault and robbery last weekend after allegedly attacking a man wearing one of President Trump's signature Make America Great Again hats. The Montgomery County Police Department said in a statement Monday that the suspects Jovan Crawford and Scott Duncan Robertson began harassing the victim about the hat as he walked in an area of Germantown, Maryland on Saturday. The suspects were accused of beating the victim.
Oh my gosh.
H2 Nabel. He was an immigrant, by the way.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Dude. You guys, have you heard about this? This should be like a Covington moment. This should be a Jussie Smollett moment where literally the CNN, all this should be playing this over and over again. What kind of America do we live in?
Right.
That immigrants in mega hats are being attacked. This is not my country.
Right.
This is not my America.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
The suspects are accused of beating the victim, the immigrant, H2 Nabel. after he told them he was entitled to his own political beliefs.
Wow.
The police said that the assailants repeatedly struck Nabel until he fell to the ground. Then they removed the property from the victim and destroyed items of value.
Property.
Crawford and Robertson, that's kind of a, you gotta watch when your name is Robert.
Oh my God.
Son, no, just kidding. Are facing charges of robbery, conspiracy to commit robbery, and second-degree assault, as well as related crimes. Nabel told Fox News DC that he immigrated to the United States from Togo in 2007, and he's now a U.S. citizen. And he said in the news station that he's been a staunch supporter of Donald Trump since he launched his presidential campaign. He added to a WJLA, a local ABC affiliate, that Trump's campaign caused him to register as a Republican. You know what? Let's see. I know there was an article. Let's see if we can see.
So much for tolerance, Julia says.
Yeah. Tolerance goes one way.
Well, a man says he was attacked near his Germantown home for wearing a Make America Great Again ball cap. Tonight, 2 men are in custody. Montgomery County reporter Kevin Lewis live now with a story you'll see only on 7.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
Michelle, this
No
press
joke.
reporter tells me he's previously been cursed at for wearing his MAGA hat, but no violence until now. The man still has a cut on his nose and pain in his jaw from the random, unprovoked mugging.
GoFundMe this boy.
Yeah.
Where's his GoFundMe?
Atsu Mabel was enjoying a Saturday evening walk near Northwest High School in Germantown when these 2 men...
What we need to do is make it so that anybody who is attacked like this and can prove it gets like a huge settlement so that nobody wants to do it because they're like, oh my gosh, they're gonna get like $100,000. They're gonna make $1 million. We don't want to do that. We don't want to make it look like is that. I think
Where are they gonna get the
how
money from though? Because
GoFundMe.
Oh, okay, I get you.
We need to set up a GoFundMe for anybody who's attacked.
Yeah.
So that the left is like, don't attack them because then it looks like we get rich out of it.
Right.
allegedly mocked him.
If they take a hit, they're taking a hit for all of us. So then we owe him something, pain and suffering.
Because of his Make America Great Again ball cap.
And then they were asking me, hey bro, why did you put this hat on? And I didn't say anything. I just passed by.
Mabel, a U.S. citizen who immigrated from the West African nation of Togo, continued down the sidewalk only to get pummeled.
And all of a sudden, I heard from my back, I got a punch on my head. Boom! I was like, oh, what's going on?
Police have since charged Scott Robertson of Northwest and Jovan Crawford.
Raise your hand if you've seen this on CNN.
Assault and theft.
Today Show, maybe. Hey, Robert Roberts gonna sit down and sit across from him and say, "How you doing, Atsuit? How you doing, buddy? How you taking this? You know what I mean? Because this is pretty bad that you've been assaulted. You're an immigrant. Immigrant is the same as gay. Yeah. Jesse Smollett's a gay black man. Yeah. He's an immigrant black man. You think that he'd get a spot with a full-on interview like with Robin Roberts that Smollett got?
Right, but he's not a movie star. Well, neither is Jesse. He's just a television star.
Because it's like when you are black, you have to be a Democrat.
Mabel tells us President Trump.
You're black, you have to be a Democrat.
Okay, pause.
What?
Listen to me, people. Okay,
they can't hear us again.
Well, all right. Somebody had said, "Are you using a different microphone?" Well, I had switched when I was trying to do the microphones stuff. I had switched it to the actual webcam microphone, but that sound is what Stuart the Brit was probably talking about with that tinging. It doesn't have good audio. So I switched it to the audio that's better, which is this microphone, but
it's not working.
No, it's working. But they're saying that the sound is low. You may just have to turn.
Did you turn it up?
Up.
Can you turn it up for people on the microphone? Scene 3, turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up.
Well, but that would have been the same microphone as.
Turn it up. There's 2 of them there. What's
the
one on the right? What's that?
That's just the actual sound for the.
No. What about the scene 5?
Well, but we're not in scene 5. That's the way that I want that, actually.
Okay. What about this one? You don't want to.
Well, that's you. That would be the microphone.
Turned him from an independent to a Republican. In fact, he attended a Trump rally in Loudoun County days before the 2016 election. And also took part in a smaller event led by Vice President Mike Pence's wife, Karen.
I like everything that he does.
Mabel, who's married and works as an accountant, hopes his alleged attackers learn to respect difference in opinion.
You know, personally, I forgive them. Because I'm a believer.
Oh, so Ruth Moore says, it's a hat for gosh sake. I'd love to get one autographed by Trump. Woohoo. When this is all said and done, the hat would be priceless.
Von Crawford both have criminal records and now each face more than 20 years in.
Go figure. They both have criminal records.
Yeah.
But they're like the thugs. They're like the new, soak 'em! Soak 'em! He's, soak 'em! He's leaving the
All right, so Redneck says, can you turn it up a little bit more? I can't. I've maxed out the amount that it can be. But trust me, when I say this microphone, even though it's lower, is better. There's a reason why I don't use the microphone that I was using, because it's really, really, it is that tingy, weird sound that I don't like. So
yeah. Here's another little story I want to show you. A stranger walked into a 12-year-old's room wearing no pants. The Louisville homeowner shot the man 6 times. This is why we have the Second Amendment, y'all. And you know what? What they don't tell you across the globe is what kind of crimes aren't stopped.
Get out. And he didn't want to move.
Right.
And he growled at me.
He growled at him.
Demonic,
growled,
right?
and he ended up getting 6 shots. Period.
He ended
come
up getting
in
6 shots.
You come in, I'm shooting you too, man. FYI, don't wear no pants around me. You better wear your pants.
You mean don't, hang on, repeat
Don't
what
wear
you just
no
said.
pants. That's
Yeah,
what I
you
said.
just said don't.
I said don't wear no pants.
Okay.
Wear pants, don't wear no pants.
Please wear pants.
All right, so this is a crime that was thwarted, but you guys, we almost had another church torched. The St. Patrick's Cathedral in Manhattan.
Who walks in there with this?
That's what the police literally picked up. 2 gas cans, 2
lighter fluid,
things of lighter fluid,
and 2
seems like this was to be
lighters.
for like 2 people.
Yeah.
And
were the gas cans full?
It looks like the lighter fluid still had their little things on it, but I don't know. It wasn't a barbecue, so praise God.
They bought that at Walmart. It's a Walmart sticker for 4 something.
At 7:55, a man walked into St. Patrick's Cathedral in Manhattan.
How do you walk
with
in
gas cans and lighter fluid and was apprehended by the police
but
without incident?
There are no details here. Okay, how is it that he walks in, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does he do? Where does he go? You got these hands, your hand and arms full of this paraphernalia, these items. Mm-hmm. And it just says that he was apprehended. Mm-hmm. Did he go down with a fight? Mm-hmm. I mean, was he trying to light something on fire? Was he trying to dump the gas cans? Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness!
So I just thought this was funny that the Google employee has measles, and Google suppresses any anti-vaccine stuff. So somebody at Google's not following the line there.
Well, because all measles vaccines work 100%.
Sunday.
That's me being sarcastic.
Wait for the next Islamic State link group issue Notre Dame threat. Go figure. Here's a aerial picture of the damage.
So back on that last topic, Just V Garcia says it's also just frightening to have someone come into your home like this. I have kids, and yes, the intruder would have the same fate, but my children would be frightened for a long time.
That's true. That's true. Here's an aerial picture now. Macron is floating around ideas of repairing this with like steel and stuff, but the things that burned were wood. So everybody's like, no, you have to replace it with wood. And I agree. They also said that they wanted to possibly make it more modern in architecture, but that's the whole point of this beloved building is it's 800 years old. So you know, like you go into cities when they, like in our old Milford, when they make people stay within the realm of this feel of the city, it actually feels better.
Yeah. So, I'm kind of like, I feel like I have an inside here because Horatio, our British correspondent.
Oh yeah, he's an architect-ish type person.
Is in architecture.
Yeah.
That's what he does. That's right. And he's constantly having to meet with these heritage officers, people, whatever, because for our American friends, you may not understand this, but because America is a pretty young country, relatively speaking. But over there across the pond, there are sites that are very old, and they are, by and large, from the country once the heritage of these old buildings preserved. And so they're constantly kind of having to fight with the heritage conservation officers to make sure that the what they're doing doesn't impede or change or alter said things. So I would imagine that in France it would be similar.
I hope so. A radical group linked to the Islamic State has threatened an attack on the damaged Cathedral of Notre Dame, or possibly another historic Christian building. This Al-Munitsir, a radical group linked to the Islamic State leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, said, "Wait for the next." So the site intelligence group Enterprise Encounter Extremism Organizations, which reported on the threat, appears to believe it was targeted at the Parisian cathedral. There's a video going around where the chief architect overseeing the restoration a few years ago, and I'm going to see if I can find it. I didn't have a chance to find it before I went live, but I watched it. He's French, and he said, wood doesn't burn like that. It's 800 years old, and it is petrified.
Right.
And he said that it wouldn't catch fire like that. And he said that they have so many safeguards and protocols in place, and that the head of the man overseeing the workers said all the workers were gone at the time they started the fire. And the chief architect said that when under his supervision, they reran all the wiring, all the electric in the whole building, and said it couldn't have been electrical. Now, France is saying that they're blaming it on a computer glitch, which is really interesting. So there's a computer glitch or an electrical short circuit, but the investigators haven't, pinpointed anything. But I will say that a bunch of billionaires, I don't know how you become a French billionaire. I was kept thinking about this. Like, they have the highest taxes in the world, so the billionaires are probably not paying the taxes percentage-wise of their income. And so when you say that socialists are going to soak the rich, it never happens. The rich just get richer and the poor get poorer. That's how socialism works. Yep. But French billionaires have donated about 100 million apiece. I think there's about 300 million that they have pledged so far. We're going to talk about the Mueller report in a minute, but I want to keep talking about Notre Dame for just a second. Marine Le Pen and the French conservatives are furious over plans to rebuild Notre Dame with modern materials. In his tweet, Prime Minister questioned whether the spire should be made out of the same materials or whether it should even be rebuilt at all. But Macron's promise to rebuild the cathedral within 5 years would probably be impossible if builders had to source, season, and fit the type of massive oak beams used in the original construction. But I guess Jordan Bardella, a 23-year-old rising star of the far right who's leading the RN into the European elections in May, mocked the idea of a contemporary roof for the cathedral. And he says there are some awful, it would be an awful piece of contemporary art. Paul Joseph Watson has gone into great detail on modern art and how awful it is and how it's not pleasing. It's not aesthetic. Yeah. And that there is universal beauty. You know what I mean? When you look at some great castles or cathedrals, universally, it's as beautiful. And somebody else pointed out that modern churches have the same amount of money that it would take to build something beautiful, but they don't. They build it modern and
it's very strange
and to unchurch-like, cold.
You can go into IKEA and you can see all of their perfectly little, modern Swedish-looking rooms that they put together, and it can be, to an extent, aesthetically pleasing. You can say, oh, that looks nice. You can go into somebody's home that is decorated like that, and you can say, oh, that looks nice. But there are a lot of people that don't like that don't appreciate it. But everybody has to look at that cathedral and that sort of beauty and say, that is beautiful.
This was disconcerting, and I absolutely hate The Simpsons.
Oh, yeah.
And so my mom was like, Mom pointed this out to me because she saw it on another thing, and it always seems that the Simpsons
predict things.
I guess
either that or the powers that be take their cues from the Simpsons. I don't know.
And it looks like, I want to show you something. It looks like YouTube is actually censoring that. So
Kelly says the stained glass is still in place by what was noted.
So I want to see if I can. This is really weird. And I told Mom, I said, I wonder if it's just sociopaths watch The Simpsons.
All in one episode. So you see this burning fire.
I don't know who made this video.
I will show you.
Bruco.
Not in chronological order.
Well,
you will get it. This is how you show things. So Notre Dame is burning.
I don't think I need to show you the whole thing.
This is seen before.
Somebody else showed it. It's so funny when you go to research thing. YouTube doesn't let you find things anymore. It was. I might have to go to my history because. So funny.
I am absolutely zero help here.
Yeah. That was 3 days ago.
Julia wants to know, wasn't there someone on the roof when they were all supposed to be gone?
I hate YouTube now.
Hey, let's cool
I can't, no, I hate what YouTube does to, it hides
Is that
things.
one it right there? Is that the same one? That's the same one. I think
yeah, YouTube hides things now. I wonder, Twitter might be a better place nowadays. YouTube has this algorithm control for like conspiracy theories,
right?
And it doesn't allow you to find any. But Twitter doesn't have the same.
Well, Julia says, especially during Holy Week, you know, and that's something that's very interesting about this having happened. You know, right when it did. I don't think that it's just. I'm sorry, I don't think it's coincidental. I'm just saying.
No.
I guess I should say I don't think it's accidental. I think that somebody set this fire. I don't think it was an accident.
Oh.
That's my opinion.
Weird. This is so weird. Let's see. I was adding the E. Maybe it'll come up if I add the E. Simpsons episode. Let's see. Our Notre Dame de Springfield. It was literally in the. See if you did it. Other people.
Did The Simpsons predict what happened in France with the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris? Or should I rather say planned rather than predict? Because everything is planned in this life.
And that's what I'm saying. It's not that they're not like prophets.
Seeing the Notre Dame aspect of things from The Simpsons, because everything was shown to you, was given to us, let's check some other top stuff that The Simpsons predicted or planned. Those who did the cartoons, to show us that everything is happening, because
let's see if I can get to that.
According to the news, it was the picture, and it's the Notre Dame of Springfield, which refers to the Notre Dame of Paris. And you see, Homer and Marge in their typical setting, like the Disney movie, and then you see the mob outside, the people. You see the people with fire, and then you see, what happens with the cathedral catching on fire, and then the sky above the cathedral, which is very dark. Reminds me, tells me that everything.
Why would you do this?
When I see the sky,
the question is, what got into the writer's minds to make Notre Dame catch on fire?
Not something natural; it's just something created with technology, because technology has always been around.
I don't know who this guy is, by the way.
Searching for meteors. Thing is planned.
They actually had
Matrix.
Bart Simpson actually set it on fire or something like that. But a lot of people did this. But anyways.
I would just like to state for the record,
something like I hate The Simpsons.
Leah and I did not grow up watching The Simpsons.
I hate them.
I do not enjoy them.
I absolutely despise it.
It seems like it's an American thing where if you don't watch The Simpsons, you're not American. That's a sad fate or state of our country, I think. But we did not grow up watching The Simpsons.
Praise God. I thank my mom for I never wanted to anyways. It was always not awesome to me. All right. So now on to the big story of the day, which somebody tweeted out. Somebody was like, I went into Middle America today and absolutely nobody cares about Mueller and his report. Okay, so like nobody, like everybody, my dog got put down yesterday. I wasn't thinking to myself, oh, Mueller report came out today.
Yeah.
The real life goes on. These people are insane. Like the MSNBC people, CNN, like they are flea bee insane. So, I'm not sure exactly where to start because I wanted to.
That's a really funny cartoon, actually.
Okay.
It says 2019 Easter hunt, find the golden egg, Mueller report, and they're dropping.
And that's like the media.
I mean, seriously, there is no golden egg, though. Mm-hmm. There is no needle in the haystack of the Mueller report that is going to officially state, all right, there was collusion, there was obstruction. It's just not there.
Right.
I don't care how fine of a tooth comb you take over it.
So Donald Trump has a lot of tweets, and I think that it would behoove us just to kind of go over them first.
Bert says, my work is carried out using ancient techniques up to 10,000 years old, and I restore artwork, engravings, and carvings. I've offered my skills to restore any damaged artifacts to the French embassy. That's very nice of you, Britt
That's
Mazza.
fantastic. Okay, so we're just going to go through Donald Trump's Twitter feed. For you guys, because I think that, and what is absolutely mind-boggling to me is this is Donald Trump. This is where you know what your president is thinking, because somebody else, he cannot be watching all this stuff himself. He does not have time.
I think he's got Barr and Trump on it. I'm kidding.
So, let's see. Where do I want to start? He talked about Bernie Sanders. Let's see. Oh, this is great. This is, first off, before we get to Mueller, Bernie Sanders went on Fox News telling everybody basically Bernie Sanders is a millionaire and he made $800,000 last year on his book, but he didn't pay extra taxes on it, but he wants people like him to pay more taxes. So he was interviewed on Fox News by Bret Baier and some other chick. I don't know, they're all their names, some blonde chick. And she's like, why don't you just pay extra taxes? And he says, why don't you pay extra taxes? You make more than me. And she's like, but I'm not advocating for wealth tax. And Bret Baier's like, and she's not running for office. And she's like, and I'm not running for office. And Michelle and I were talking about this and how crazy these insane socialists are, because there was a Bernie supporter on Tucker Carlson the other night when Tucker asked about the Bernie tax
why he doesn't pay for the taxes right now voluntarily.
And she said,
well, she just said, no, who does that, Tucker? Nobody does that. You're just so silly.
He said no. She's like, nobody
does
nobody
that.
pays taxes.
I mean, I don't even know how would you do that. Like, where would there even be like an IRS form for you to do that, silly Tucker? It was really annoying. And I was like, okay, somebody, and I asked you to do this, and then Sydney happened, and I really wish that you had. I said, find the name of that chick, and Leah does the Twitter, that's what I'm saying, she should do it. Find that chick and tweet out to her, hello, Missy, you may be unaware, but our government used to be funded by donations, almost solely, primarily. And she says that nobody does that, there would never
But
be
you
that,
can. You can give as much as you want.
I don't know what I'm talking about at all.
You can always send your money to the government.
They will take it. You can donate to the government.
Bernie Sanders, we're talking about this.
We used to do it all the time.
He won't pay his extra in taxes unless everybody does. So it's kind of like somebody comes and says, somebody's an advocate for brushing your teeth and says, everybody needs to brush their teeth. Everybody should brush their teeth. It's good for the whole planet if everybody brushes their teeth, right? And so we come up and say, hey, Bernie, do you brush your teeth? No. I am not brushing my teeth until everybody brushes their teeth. But you're saying it's such a good thing for people who are wealthy
until it's the law to brush your teeth.
Until it's the law and everybody's made to brush their teeth. In protest, I am not brushing my teeth. If I were around and if I was telling everybody that apples were good for you to eat,
Well, I have a better analogy than that.
Okay.
Okay. The better analogy is recycling. Okay, because it's requiring you to do something for someone else for the better of mankind.
I'm not going to recycle.
I'm not going to recycle until everybody starts recycling.
Right. That's
If it's good to do, and you ought to do it, Be the change you want to see in the world, Bernie. Right. Be the change.
So Donald Trump says Bernie Sanders and his wife should pay the pre-Trump taxes on their almost $600,000 in income. It was actually $800,000. He is always complaining about these big tax cuts, except when it benefits him. They made a fortune off of Trump, but so did everyone else, and that's a good thing, not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I believe it will be crazy Bernie Sanders versus sleepy Joe Biden. And he says, I look forward to facing whoever it may be. May God rest their soul. Not a typo. President's Twitter.
Gosh,
okay, here's the thing. I can be friends with people who don't like Trump's Twitter, but like acquaintances, but I can't be friends with them.
Right, I get it.
So if it's not going to be fun for me to be with anybody who does not like his Twitter.
Right.
Because if you don't get this kind of humor, may God rest their soul, you're not going to be fun to be around.
And that's
because that is so funny.
Regardless of your political standing, you could be a lefty and find that hilarious. Like you could just say this guy's a chump, this guy's whatever. You could still laugh about it.
I would even in my pre-Trump days, I still laughed at him. He was still funny. It's miraculous that Trump not only beat the Bush dynasty, 16 Republicans, the FBI, the media, voter fraud cheaters, the political class, Clinton dynasty, the Obamas, and the elites in both parties, but he also beat tech companies that use their platforms to try to beat him. And what I love is that Donald Trump is tweeting out Charlie Kirk.
I know, I saw that too. I was really excited.
So, let's see. Wow, the FBI made 11 payments to fake dossier's discredited author, Trump hater Christopher Steele. At Onan, which is Jack Posovic's new, not his new network, he's part of it's a news network. If you guys don't know about it, it's
okay, why don't you say it?
Jack
One
Posobiec,
American News Network. It's not Onan.
That's what everybody calls them, Onan. Oh, that's what they call it, Onan.
They do call it Onan?
Yeah.
Because that's not, sound that out.
That's the way everybody says it.
Well, have you talked to people?
Yeah, I hear them say it.
Okay. All right.
One American News Network. Democrats in Congress must return from their vacations and change the immigration laws or border despite the great job. Big sections of the walls now being built. He talks about the cathedral. And then today we're officially launching our re-election campaign. Check out our first video. And I think, did I play this one? I played this last week.
Oh, yeah.
So he tweeted that out. That was Team Mitch, by the way. And he tweeted out Team Mitch McConnell, so I guess they're on the same team now. He tweeted out an article from Breitbart that says poll shows media failed to gaslight public after Trump campaign spying, meaning to try to get him going. The greatest political hoax of all time. Crimes were committed by crooked, dirty cops and DNC and Democrats. He calls it presidential harassment.
Whoa.
He tweeted this out from Judicial Watch. Breaking: Judicial Watch announced today that it filed a FOIA lawsuit against the DOJ for records of communications and payments between the FBI and former intelligence officer British Steele and his private firm. And Donald Trump tweeted this out. There's a thread here. They say, this is the latest Judicial Watch FOIA lawsuit in an extensive investigation into the Clinton-funded anti-Trump dossier and its use to obtain FISA warrants in order to spy on the Trump campaign. Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton said, how and why did the FBI pay Christopher Steele, who was already being funded by the Clinton campaign and the DNC through Fusion GPS? Imagine if Donald Trump and his administration began to pay somebody who was creating fake research against somebody on the Democratic side. He'd be in jail.
I think that Bernie would be taken more serious if he would go by like Bernard.
All right. So I'm not going to play this thing, but Judicial Watch Tom Fitton discusses the Clinton memo, saying she signed a memo saying, due to recent targeting of personal email accounts by online adversaries, state employees should avoid conducting official department business from personal accounts while she used her own personal accounts. Liar, liar, your pants are on fire. And then we have him tweeting this out. Judicial Watch, we'll go ahead and let this one play.
Bombshell statement and the reaction to it.
Well, the fact that it's being called a bombshell is a surprising thing. Certainly, those of us who have been investigating this independently, like Judicial Watch, certainly your network, I mean, to say that it's spying, only in Washington would that be controversial, and it shows you why the left is so dishonest here, because they've known it's spying. It obviously was spying, and I think they're not so much nervous about it being called spying, but the other part of his questioning was, I want to investigate what went on. Yeah. That's what they're nervous about. This is a joint operation between the DNC, the Clinton campaign, the FBI, DOJ, you name it, to target President Trump or then candidate Trump. And look, even the Mueller operation benefited from this illicit spying. One of the FISA warrants at issue was signed during Mueller's term after he was appointed by Rod Rosenstein. So there are a lot of uncomfortable questions here. It could be, you know, the fact that criminal investigation hasn't taken place yet just shows you how out of control and adrift the Justice Department has been because of the Mueller operation.
And they're looking into it. You got Horowitz, and then it looks like Bill Barr is going to check into it. Here's Jerry Nadler and Steny Hoyer on what Bill Barr said.
I believe the Attorney General of the United States of America believes he needs to protect the President of the United States, and I think that's unfortunate.
This is an attempt to take the attention off that very serious, these very serious crimes, and divert people's attention to absolute conspiratorial nonsense.
And Tom, real quick, let's just pull up this tweet from 2017, because we all remember the reaction when this came out from the president.
Yes, we did.
Terrible. Just found out that Obama had my wires tapped in Trump Tower just before the victory. Nothing found. This is McCarthyism. Now, obviously, you know, we don't know if Trump Tower was wiretapped by President Obama, but when this was said, the Democrats, the media, they frankly wanted to Baker Act the president for being so crazy. And now we're walking down this path.
Well, it turns out the president was onto something, to put it mildly. Look, there's nothing like it. Nothing like this has occurred in American history. This is one of the most significant abuses of power in American history. No other presidential candidate has been spied upon to the degree that President Trump or then candidate Trump was spied upon. And the wires tapped, oh boy, you know, it wasn't just having his wires tapped. They had an expansive FISA operation against him. They were trying to place spies and plants in the campaign. They were taking up his phone records. I tell you, why hasn't there been a comprehensive investigation of this thus far? Shows you it's really troubling. And you know, this is why the Democrats are nervous. Their Democratic National Committee needs to be questioned. Their lawyers need to be questioned. Hillary Clinton needs to be questioned. And dare I say it, President Obama needs to be questioned, because this was run out of the Obama White House. It's clear. There was a key meeting, for instance, about that shady dossier in January of 2017, including Comey, Obama, Rice, and Vice President Biden. What did they discuss? And at that time, they all knew the dossier was salacious and unverified, and yet they used it continuously to get not only the spy warrants, but then to go and harass President Trump directly, or then President-elect Trump directly with it through Comey's meeting, where he shared it with him and said, well, you know, there's nothing here. And President Trump said, what the heck is going on here? This is not true. And yet they continued to push him on it. I tell you, our republic was under assault during that time because of the abuses of this administration that continued, frankly, through the Mueller special counsel operation. And I would just highlight quickly before we go, Mr. Barr refused the invitation to endorse the Mueller investigation. He didn't say it was a witch hunt, but all he said, well, it was an investigation. Certainly he wasn't pleased with the way it went on, the way it happened either.
Well, Tom, we know.
All right, so Jesse Wilson says Obama was the man in charge. He gets the blame whether he knew of it or not. Stuart the Brit says, I'm going to miss Mr. Fenton when he leaves that post. He's a good man and very professional. I love Tom Fitton. He's awesome.
Here's another tweet from Trump from Judicial Watch. Judicial Watch announced it uncovered 422 pages of FBI documents showing evidence of cover-up discussions related to the Clinton email system within the Platte River networks, one of the vendors who managed the Clinton email system.
Whoa.
So that's going to be interesting developments to see there.
I love this face right here, though. Like,
Judicial Watch announced, it's just awesome. It received 756 pages of newly uncovered emails that were among the materials former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton tried to delete or destroy, several of which were classified. So she tried to delete the classified ones. Now, this is from Sean Hannity. Sean Hannity discussed some key findings from Judicial Watch in regards to the Clinton cover-up, so we'll go ahead and play that.
Judicial Watch. Tom Fitton will join us later. We are finding out even more devastating information about how the deep state protected Hillary Clinton before turning their forces against Donald Trump. This is also a huge development.
It's only fair, and I believe the Democrats believe in fairness, that there are 17 angry Republicans who gave money to Donald Trump and supported his campaign, and it should be an investigation headed up by the most pro-Trump guy and against Hillary Clinton.
Repeat that again.
Well, there's 17 angry Democrats.
You said Republicans.
No, but it should be reversed.
Okay, I get you. All right,
17 angry
I get it.
Republicans to investigate Hillary Clinton.
Yep.
Just out today, and we're going to break it down for you. The Freedom of Information Act request by Judicial Watch from 2016. Well, today bore fruit. It forced the release of 422 pages of FBI documents surrounding Platte River Network.
So there we go.
Now, this is a really important question here. Wicked Psyched wants to know, why could we build refrigerators and stoves that lasted many decades, 50 to 100 years ago, but can't come close to that now? That is the question for the ages, and I will tell you the answer.
Washing machines, too.
It's money. They literally build these things to break after a certain amount of time so that you, the consumer, have to buy it again. We have a dryer in our basement that is probably 35 years old, okay? And we've gone through probably two or three washing machines.
Oh, washing machines, yeah.
So, you know what I mean? I don't know how many it's been. Like,
no,
we've bought 2 since Grandma died, and hers was kind of new. So to me, that counts as 3. All right. So you're right. It's not just refrigerators and washing machines and dryers. It's almost all appliances are built to break so that you have to buy another one.
How many times you've been to an older person's house and you still have to have the pulley thing? You turn it goes click, 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 and pull it, and it still works. From like
here comes the water.
The 70s.
Yeah.
Okay, no collusion, no obstruction. Donald Trump.
Cars are the same way.
Back, and I'm fighting back, not for me. I'm fighting back for the people of this country. No collusion. There was no collusion. No collusion. No collusion. There is absolutely no collusion. There's no collusion. The fact is, there is no collusion. No collusion. There's no collusion. This is
I just went golfing. Tan, by the way. Just had to point that out.
Looks like we might have lost our stream on
Facebook?
Yeah, or it switched over or something.
Investigation where many, many millions of dollars has been spent, and there's no collusion.
This is a win for this president who, for now 2 years, has essentially been screaming there was no Russia collusion. He is backed up by Mueller.
Maybe every time he said no collusion, like more than 231 times so far, maybe every time he said no collusion, he was telling the truth.
This was an illegal takedown that failed. And hopefully somebody's going to look at the other side.
Oh my
Praise
gosh.
the Lord.
It's awesome.
So
it makes me laugh, actually.
So when you look at Judicial Watch, when we talk about the deep state, Judicial Watch is like, they aren't the government. You know that, right? They are, if you guys want to fund something, fund them. So as I've been saying all along, no collusion, no obstruction. Here's another one. Are you ready?
That's your headline. Report, no collusion.
The Russia investigation is finally over. The news caught many people by surprise.
This is a win for this president who, for now 2 years, has essentially been screaming there was no Russia collusion. He is backed up by Mueller.
The results are in.
And take a look at the headlines from the Washington Post to the New York Post. They're what the president wanted.
The president has just been exonerated. I mean, can we just take a step back and focus on the fact that this is a nearly 2-year investigation that has swirled around the president since day one of his presidency, and he has just been exonerated.
And Robert Mueller gave a very clear answer, and that was that there was no collusion.
And it is, in fairness, what the president has been saying.
This was what all the questions surrounded the president. Did he obstruct justice? They just cleared it.
This is a huge win, hands down, black and white, for President Trump.
All right, Robert Bone says, I want a penalty flag to be thrown on the Democrats for the last 2 years, illegal holding, pass interference, and Trump to get a 2-year extension on his presidency.
Jesse Waters, Donald Trump, and this is Trump tweeting that out, by the way. Donald Trump was being framed. He fought back. This is not obstruction. I had the right to end the whole witch hunt if I wanted. I could have fired everyone, including Mueller, if I wanted. I chose not to. I had the right to use executive privilege, and I didn't. Anything the Russians did concerning the 2016 election was done while Obama was president. He was told about it and did nothing. Most importantly, the vote was not affected. When there is not an underlying crime with regard to collusion, in fact, the whole thing that was a made-up fraud, it is difficult to say that someone is obstructing something when there is no underlying crime.
I like the Tucker one.
Martha McCollum.
If dozens of federal prosecutors spent the past 2 years trying to charge you with a crime and found they couldn't, it would mean there wasn't any evidence you did it, and that's what happened here. That's what we just learned from the Mueller report, Tucker Carlson.
Go ahead, read the next one.
Which one? No. The Mueller report is perhaps the single most humiliating thing that has ever happened to the White House press in the history of this country. They know they lied. Many reporters lied about Russia collusion and so much more. Clapper and Brennan, all lies. Tucker Carlson.
Kimberly Stossel should get in Pulitzer. She is a treasure, and I don't know her, who correctly called the Russian hoax right from the start. Others who were so wrong will get the prize. Fake news.
Can I just point out, though, at least with this Tucker one, he had to write that quote out. It's not like he's not like copying it from somewhere.
Some people do his Twitter. So I'm guessing.
know, but still, I'm just saying somebody had to. It's like a legit had to be put together. It's not just copying it from
an article.
Yeah.
Go ahead and read Kimberly Strassel's that he tweeted out.
Jump to, quote, where the Mueller team lists its prosecution and declination decisions. Try not to picture Mueller Pitbull prosecutor Andrew Weissman collapsed under mountains of federal statutes after his 2-year hunt to find one that applied. Wow.
Statements are made about me by certain people in the crazy Mueller report in itself, written by 18 angry Democrat Trump haters, which are fabricated and totally untrue. Watch out for people that take so-called notes when the notes never existed until needed. Because I never agreed to testify, it was not necessary for me to respond to statements made in the report about me, some of which are total BS and only given to make the other person look good or me look bad. This was an illegally started hoax that never should have happened. A big, fat waste of time, energy, and money. $30 million to be exact. It is now finally time to turn the tables and bring justice to some very sick and dangerous people who have committed very serious crimes, perhaps even spying or treason. This should never happen again.
Treason is punishable by death here in the United States.
Well, they wanted Donald Trump to be punished for treason. Mm-hmm. The Washington Post and New York Times are, in my opinion, two of the most dishonest media outlets out there. Truly the enemy of the people. And he tweeted out Liz Wheeler, who said, astonishing, this is why nobody trusts your shady paper. Why was it so hard to headline the truth? No collusion, no conspiracy, no proof of obstruction crime. And then I guess this is from the Washington Post. Mueller details Russian interference, Trump's attempt to disrupt probe.
Oh my gosh.
So that's what we call owning the narrative and twisting it.
Wow.
This is why nobody but the DNC circle jerk takes this seriously anymore. That front page is a disgrace, but in its disgrace, many wake up.
Donna Terry says, what is actually going on behind the scenes? What is the big picture today? We keep going over and over and over this bed. Will anything ever happen? Is this, in fact, a smoke screen?
So I guess Scott Axons is a football player. I don't know idea, but he tweeted that out. So Donald Trump retweeted him, and he says, thank God for real Donald Trump for waking up millions of Americans to the truth about the Washington Post. And then The Hill writes an article, time for Democrats to accept reality. And then I like this one from Mark Meadows and Jim Jordan today.
really well. If he wanted to fire Bob Mueller, he would have been fired. I mean, to suggest that there was one conversation and he instructed Don McGahn to fire him and it didn't happen, well, let me just say that he actually reports to the President of the United States. His office is right above the executive suite. It's not like they don't see each other on a regular basis. So, you know, we also don't have the privilege of a cross-examination here. This is one side. This is a prosecutor laying out the best evidence he has against the president, and he was still exonerated. And so, you know, it's a good day for America. It's a good day for the president because what we now know, and it was interesting, Adam Schiff had this wonderful presser just a few minutes ago. That's a different Adam Schiff that's been on every Sunday show and every cable news network saying, I've got evidence, we're going to find the president guilty. Now all of a sudden he's changing the narrative. You know, it's time for him to fess up and admit to the American people that he didn't have what he said he had.
You got bubkis.
So Alex Jones was deposed because Clinton people wanted to shut Alex Jones down because Alex Jones helped get Donald Trump elected.
Exactly.
And so Clinton has 6 ways from Sunday to get at anybody. And since they don't, I guess, want to kill Alex Jones and make him a martyr, they decided to hire some lawyers to brainwash some Sandy Hook parents to sue Alex Jones for way before. That's the only thing they can get him on, right?
Exactly.
So they asked me, on one part, they said, you told your audience that you saw a SWAT team, a guy in SWAT gear being taken away or something along those lines. And they said, you lied to your audience. Well, if Alex Jones is such a bad guy for lying to the audience, we know that Adam Schiff, James Clapper, John Brennan, these are people, the head of the CIA, right? Going out there telling people that Trump colluded with Russia, and they had proof.
And they have proof.
So why aren't they getting the Alex Jones treatment?
That's a very good question.
So this is another thing from Donald Trump's timeline. So we're going to go ahead and play it because I think that's we can almost make our whole Friday show.
Hang on, wait, go ahead, because I like this from Jesse. The left is right about one thing: Trump was not exonerated. He would first have to be charged with the crime to be exonerated.
And that's the really big thing. Like, you can't obstruct a crime that didn't exist.
Right. Vindicated is the word that needs to be used.
If I didn't go and rob a store, how could they put me in jail, you know, for obstructing justice, and I didn't do it? You know what I mean?
Right.
So weird. So here's him tweeting out Representative Matt Gaetz. You have guys that come through here that do this thing for a living. They bring groups across. They bring drugs across. I'm getting excited because I just remembered a video that Jay shared with me, and I can't wait to play this for you guys because it's pretty cool. But anyways, I'm going to play this for you.
They wore a hole in that carpet shoe. You put it on over your boot, your shoe, mass detection, plus it, you can't track them as easy. They're all through here.
Shades, man.
So you can see this is all matted down. I wouldn't be surprised if they were here this morning. But you figure you can't see these guys from the freeway unless you stop. You're not going to see them. You can see it's hard on them. A lot of them will carry electrolytes. I think when they get their pack, they'll get electrolytes, toilet paper. If you look at all this, what they've started doing is they've started packing.
Politicians. I don't give fashion advice or anything. I mean, I would never have suggested or thought to suggest to Ted Cruz to grow that beard, but hey, aviators. Matt Gaetz, if you're going to wear the aviators. You're going to wear sunglasses. Everybody, like, universally, politicians just wear the aviators and you just like go up like 100 notches. You can get them at the dollar store.
A lot of their stuff out, so they're packing their clothes so that we don't figure out where they're loading out at.
His last name is Lamb,
but a lot of the groups will pack out all their stuff. You have guys
and he's catching people on the Lamb.
This is what they do for a living. Yeah, they bring groups across. They bring drugs across. Some of them get here and they realize it's good money and they're willing to do it again. A lot of the people we get here are still human beings being trafficked by the cartel. So they paid the cartel money, and then the cartel made them transport drugs with them. And so they...
And that's another thing. The cartel gets these people to use drugs
taken
for them.
Advantage of by the cartel, exploited. You can see it's... Look at the terrain. This isn't easy. 3, 4, 5, 6 packs That's a 6-person crew right there. Let's say my guys are doing something in Casa Grande. Well, if they hit our sensors or we pick them up, how much time do we have to get here? And they're mobile. They pull up and boom, they're in the car and they're gone. Then it's a matter of trying to find them on the freeways, which is, it's like finding a needle in a haystack sometimes.
Build that wall. Build that wall. We're still going through Trump's Twitter because it's a gem. It's like, okay, here we go. No collusion, no obstruction for the haters and the radical left Democrats. Game over. That's a play on Game of Thrones, by the way.
Right.
Donald Trump. I don't even know if he watches. I don't even think he knows what that means. But he tweeted this out, and
I bet he knows.
That's the end of the show, right there.
Right.
That's it. That's all I got. That's all you got to know about Donald Trump.
That's really not the end of the show.
But like, here's the thing, guys. We live in a world where that is his pinned tweet. He pinned that, baby. Pin it. Pin the Game of Thrones tweet. Just pin it. Okay. I want everybody who goes to my Twitter feed to see the Game of Thrones game over.
But I would like to clarify that I am disappointed by anyone that actually watches that show. That's not like a hateful thing. I literally, it's like I'm so disappointed. I'm like, really? You watch that? Like, it's pretty much just, like whitewashed pornography.
Yeah.
But so if you watch Resistance Chicks, you should feel convicted. We're convicting you here. This is not hate speech. This is Sister Michelle saying you ought not watch it.
So he tweeted out Mark Levin on collusion. Mueller's final report completely vindicates President Trump. That's from Jay Sekulow, who I have been... Here's the thing. You guys probably don't know much about Jay Sekulow. But what's interesting is that he plays in a band. And some kids that I went to school with and to church with, their dad plays in his band.
Oh, yeah. Joe.
Yeah, Joe plays in his band. And it's so funny. But when I was in high school, Jay Sekulow ran the ACLUJ, the American Center for Law and Justice, which was a Christian organization, which is that fights for Christian rights. So when I was in high school, I told everybody I was going to go to school, I was going to be a lawyer, and I was going to go work for Jay Sekulow. It's
not too late.
So what if I was working for Jay Sekulow, then I would be... But see, I'm helping Donald Trump in other ways.
Yeah.
Okay? I think I can do more here helping Donald Trump than I could on a legal team helping Donald Trump, because I'd be pulling my hair out. Right? Because I need God to move. But I love Jay Sekulow, and the fact that, to me, this is personal for me, because I gave money to the ACLUJ. Right? The ACLJ, not UJ, ACLJ. I gave money to them, and I supported them and they fight for Christian rights and for like the bakers and the stuff like that. Right. But Jay Sekulow, I don't know how he became Trump's lawyer, and I think it had to do with that Trump prophecy movie,
right?
And all the Christians praying for him. I think he got on board, as did some of my other Christian people that I follow that I have mass respect for, like David Barton.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Anne Graham, who got on. You could feel the anointing. So I follow like Kim Clement. These are people that I have aligned myself with ideologically and spiritually, because my spirit goes with the spirit. Like, our spirits testify with his spirit that we're the sons of God. And my sheep hear my voice, another voice they won't follow. So when I hear the anointing, like when I was hearing Kim Clement prophesy about Donald Trump and had that Trump prophecy playing over and over and over again, then I felt the anointing, and I know what the voice of God sounds like. So I know this is God. And so I know that with Assange and everything, a lot of people who support WikiLeaks, and the latest vote hit some WikiLeaks people hard. I don't know if you guys know this, but the House and the Senate passed a resolution to condemn and to pull out of Saudi Arabia's war against Yemen, which I am totally and 100% against, and I would have signed. However, recently, what people don't tell you, and you don't hear this in mainstream news, you're only going to hear it on Ron Paul Institute probably, and here, is that our economy is aligned with Saudi Arabia, in that in 1979, Jimmy Carter signed us up to the petrodollar, and we started to sell U.S. bonds in exchange for this oil. It's called a petrodollar, meaning it's oil for dollars, and they would buy our debt.
Exactly.
Okay, so in buying our debt,
you call it though, buying somebody's debt makes it sound like they're taking your trash. No, they own you.
Yeah, and they own part of us. China owns part of us, and things like that. But they know that if they pull out of that system, the petrodollar, which they can because they have enough money to do so, they have enough power to do so, and they have threatened it. Trump is running on a strong economy. Yeah. And every point that the stock market drops, then he loses point. The country, unfortunately, is a bunch of sheep, not you guys, but they were so obsessed with the economy because you're brainwashed to do so since public school. Right. That President Clinton, I was just watching, Newt Gingrich led the fight against Clinton to have him impeached. And he was impeached in the House, but not the Senate. Yeah. Because when Ken Starr investigated him, he found 10 counts of criminal conduct. But because you can't bring charges against the sitting president, then the House and the Senate would have had to impeach him. Exactly. Now, there was no criminal conduct found against Donald Trump. But the world still wants to impeach him. But 10 counts. Only 5 of those counts, I was listening today to Newt Gingrich, were obstruction. The rest were criminal conduct. Wow. Okay? So this was criminal. And he lied to the American people before Congress. I did not have sex with that woman. Right. Right? Okay, so we know that he lied repeatedly. And he should have been impeached on criminal conduct. But the American people not only didn't want him impeached, but they reelected him. I know. Because of the economy. So what I get to is that Donald Trump knows if he's not in for 2020, he set something in motion. Okay? A clean sweep of the swamp. It's only been 2 years, guys. Yeah. Give him a break. He was that lion in the beginning, being attacked. Give him a chance to be the lion to go on the attack. Yeah. The 20 hyenas come after you. It was more like, he's had more like 100 hyenas. Okay? And everybody's like, I love these people. I see them on Twitter and Facebook. What is he doing? Why isn't he doing this? Why isn't Mike Cernovich? All these people are jumping ship. And he literally has 100 hyenas around him on his back. And he's still yelling, I'm going to build the wall, guys. Hang on. We're going to make this happen. Hey, get off of me. Get off of me. Right? And so what I'm trying to tell the mega people and the deplorables is we got to be that lion. Yeah, and we got to scare them off so that the lion can build the wall and drain the swamp and do the things he's want to do. He has Mattis out. He has Kelly out. Yeah. He realizes when... McMaster is out. He realizes, and it takes some time. So I want to tell, like Cassandra Fairbanks and a lot of these people, don't give up on President Trump because the media still hates him. You know, the media and the people don't like him on the left and the liberals. Okay, so while the media hates him, I know he's doing something right. Right, more right than anybody else. Okay. And I'm going to play a video for you. Stick with me. It's really good. You're gonna enjoy this video Jay sent me. I think you will. I did. But anyways, talking about why Donald Trump is an imperfect candidate for a perfect time. Basically. And so I'm going to give Trump more benefit of the doubt because now we're all censored on Twitter. Like, it's kind of like the doctors opened up the body. We have to finish the surgery. You know what I mean? We can't just be like, nope, gonna tie them all up. I was distracted. There was a fire. No, it's open. Let's just finish it. Let's clean it out, and then we can start over again. I don't know where I got off on that. Trump has been vindicated, tenderly vindicated. That's from Sean Hannity. Happy Passover. Wishing happy Passover to all celebrating America, Israel, and around the world. And that's his pin tweet. So we went through Donald Trump's tweet storms. Let's see. Where do I want to go to from here? We'll probably cover that on Sunday. Bernie, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I don't have to. I think we're gonna talk about Farage's Brexit party on Sunday. I'm so excited about this. In 1 week, Nigel Farage's Brexit party is number one.
It's amazing.
Number one. I still want Sargon of Akkad to win. For the UKIP in that district. So I hope that works. So this next one, sex cult.
It's been like a year since we talked about this.
I kind of look at the news. This chick is she says, I'm sorry. I realized I did wrong things. But get this.
It was in Hollywood. For a reminder.
Yeah. This, where's her face? This girl right here. She played small Hollywood. But when you're in Hollywood, like, even if you're small, like, you're big. Yeah. Among the small people. Mm-hmm. She was, I don't know who she is really. But get this, guys. There's always some sort of connection.
Political.
U.S. Attorney Richard Donoghue asked a federal judge last month.
Isn't that how you say Donahue?
Donahue. Sorry, Phil Donahue. Thank you, Donoghue.
You're welcome.
That's why you get paid big bucks, baby. Last month, for permission to present a mountain of new evidence against the Nexum sex cult trial, including evidence of an illegal scheme to exceed contribution limits to a presidential primary campaign in the hopes of obtaining political influence to advance their own agenda.
Get out.
But guess what? They're like, Clinton, sex cult, that's a thing.
Goes hand in hand.
We're like buddies. We're like tied like this, like Epstein. And this, as at the suggestion of a political operative, who has since pleaded guilty to an unrelated New York State bribery charge, also involving campaign contributions, for Dinesh D'Souza. And he's just all like, why isn't anybody else being charged doing worse than I did?
Yeah. I don't even think he wants those people to be charged. He just...
No, he does. Like,
wants... You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it... Anyway.
They're doing worse than him. They're actually doing crimes. The contributions were bundled and presented to the candidate at a fundraising event attended by the conspirators. And whose presidential primary campaign did the group allegedly attempt to buy influence with? None other than Hillary Rodham Clinton. According to the former Nexum publicist turned whistleblower Frank Parlato, who told Big League Politics, I was there, and I knew that the contributions were made by more than a dozen Nexum members to Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. Now, Donald Trump was supposedly endorsed by David Duke, and he was wearing a mark of David Duke. Y'all had 10 sex cult members. What do you think? Are you going to take that? At present, the judge overseeing the case has not responded to the case docket. Nexum's Clinton connections have been known for some time after being run out of Arkansas in the early 1990s by then Governor Bill Clinton's Attorney General on charges of fraud and business deception. Rainier, the head guy in this sex cult, who like him and that chick you just saw, branded people, and the Nexum executives emerged a decade later only to donate about $30,000 to Hillary Clinton's 2016 presidential campaign a decade later. At least 3 Nexum officials who are or were invitation-only members of the Clinton Global Initiative. Oh my gosh. Meanwhile, Nexum's inner sanctum turns out to have been a sex cult known as DOS, which Parletto says stands for Dominance, Obsequence, and Sortorium, Master over the Slave Women. So what's interesting is that they have this show called... with the the handmaids, and they say that Pence wants to turn everybody into some sort of Christian handmaids thing where girls are used in sex cults, which totally diabolical. Does not the thing, right? But here's the thing: this guy here, Rainier, master over the slave women, like Epstein, Clinton, like that's them. Why aren't they making the show of the handmaids the country that we lived in under? But that's the country that the Democrats want.
Yeah.
Right? Rainier's inner cadre included these heiresses and all these people. I don't need to talk about them right now. It's Max. Allison Mack is her name. And I really don't want to talk very much about them, but I just want you to see that the cult tried to buy favor with Hillary Clinton. And I thought that was very telling. Pink Floyd's, I'm going to do that one. Ashamed to be an Englishman over
on
the
Sunday.
Assange. Yeah, I'm going to do that Sunday. Trump unleashes. It's time to turn the tables and bring justice. I think we covered that one. Those were just the tweets. The article about the tweets. Okay, this was hilarious to me. This is my commercial time when we take a break from serious things to be awesome. So, Babylon Bee made a whole article that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez went on The Price is Right and everything was free. Well, Snopes fact-checked that.
No, they didn't.
Embarrassingly enough. The report was right there in black and white. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was pumped to attend the taping of The Price is Right in Hollywood this week. The special guest introduced herself as the U.S. representative and rising star of the Democratic Party. Things got interesting when the game began, and every time it was her turn to estimate the price of an item, her answer was free. Items included a set of Italian leather handbags, an all-expensive paid trip to the Bahamas, and a brand new 2019 BMW, all of which Ocasio-Cortez shouted free. When host Drew Carey asked if Ocasio-Cortez understood the game's rules, she told Carey not to catcall her, and then responded, "Don't hate me because you ain't me." Okay? So that was pretty funny, but I want you to see this. This is Snopes' Twitter account. Did U.S. Representative OC repeatedly guess free on a TV show Price is Right? Now, what's even better is the the comments. At Bob on B, do your thing. The Bob on B and Sean Spicer is the best thing that happened on Twitter. OMG, that video has been doctored. Tell us again, Snopes. Who do we believe? You are so dumb. You are really dumb. Did Snopes really fact check a satirical website? Let's see. It appears that Snopes has fact-checked the Babylon Bee about 30 times. My working theory is that they make an intern write these because some funder keeps sending them panicked emails about a disturbing article in the Babylon Bee. Nope, I think Snopes may be the satirical website. Snopes out there fact-checking memes. It's embarrassing that some people take them seriously. Hey, here's the definition of satire. And everybody with the face palm replying to Snopes. Are you delusional? Do you suffer from mental illness? Let's see. People still are awful at recognizing parody, I see. Are you guys sure? I think you should really take another look at this. So congratulations, you played yourself. So anyways, that was just really, really fun. Here's the thing. When they fact check a joke, and then the poor, what do you call the court jester there? The court jester's like in a room, like whatever. Right. So that was funny to me. I thought I had to share that with you guys. So Sarah Carter was on Sean Hannity. Thank you for getting that back up again. And says Sean Hannity was asking. Okay, so you guys know, I'm like, I don't want to get my hopes up because you hear so much on the other side crying wolf, 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 wolf.
Yeah.
But then sometimes there is a real wolf.
Right.
And so Sarah Carter and Sean Hannity are like, I'm hearing indictments. Right? There should be indictments. We all know there should be indictments. We just had Mueller come out and say this was all fake. There was no collusion. It was a fake investigation that should not have been started.
Yeah.
So what's the point behind it all? We know that there was no obstruction or collusion. We know that Comey did this to try to get this started. We know McCabe. We know all this thing. So there should be a bunch of indictments. Mm-hmm. So you can't get your hopes up and put your trust in God because you know it should be that way.
Right.
There we go.
All right, let me ask Greg and Sarah simultaneously. We're just short on time, obviously, for tonight. I keep talking about an avalanche and that there are going to be indictments and that all these people missed the biggest abuse of power story in history. Sarah, we'll start with you, then we'll ask Greg. What's coming?
There will be indictments. It will be an avalanche. And according to the sources that I was speaking with just today, people are already turning on each other. So we're going to see people, senior officials within the FBI, people within the DOJ that are going to try to throw their colleagues under the bus just to save themselves. And I think that they need to be very concerned now, very concerned about what they did and about weaponizing, our intelligence community and law enforcement.
Just FISA abuse alone, those that rigged the Hillary investigation alone, those that tried to undo a duly elected president alone, there's serious problems, not for rank and file FBI and intelligence. The 99.9% are good people.
Officials using their office, abusing them for political purposes, lying to a court, a conspiracy to leak government documents, stealing government documents. If I were James Comey, Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok, Brennan, Clapper, I wouldn't be sleeping very well tonight or many nights to come.
Ken Starr, real quick, 10 seconds. Do you agree?
I agree that there's going to be a full revelation. Bill Barr is going to get to the bottom of this.
If he's not suicided first. I'm kind of scared about that.
I have, when I watch Bill Barr and I watch the Barr's body language, just kind of go over Rosenstein there with Bill Barr. Bill Barr is like normal person. Yeah. Like I've seen a lot of politicians, like even Mike Pence, like I don't know, like a little bit weird to me.
Yeah, he is.
But I feel he's really political and really just polished and everything. That I think Bill Barr, when I hear him speak, he just seems like a normal guy, like normal person. Like I know,
but I know that though.
I know liberals who are normal, who just talk normal. I have liberal friends, lefty friends, who you just go and you talk to them, like normal people, normal things. But like there are people who are psychopaths and sociopaths, and those are the other people like Brennan and Clapper and all those people who have been in there for a while. Okay, so while we're on Mueller, one more thing.
Oh no.
Ronna McDaniel, the GOP chairwoman, tweeted this out about Maxine Waters, and you guys know we cannot pass up a Mad Maxine compilation.
She's my favorite.
Okay, this is like
really
dark
is
chocolate to me. I'm sorry, that's probably
you're getting taken
I
off
like
of
chocolate.
all things.
I know. There it goes. It's racist.
You're such a racist.
I don't have.
You like dark chocolate.
I know. This is like
You can't say
bees
those
to
kinds of
honey.
things.
This is like bees to honey.
There you go.
When Mad Maxine, there's a Mad Maxine compilation, or Nancy Pelosi throws on the words and he plays with her teeth. All right. So I can't pass that up either. It's like a moth to flame is what it is. Can't help it.
Let's hear from Mad Maxine.
Here you have a president.
Oh, I'm gonna make her beg.
I can tell you and guarantee you is in collusion with the Russians. I say that he was in collusion with Putin. I believe that there really has been collusion. I say that he was in collusion with the Kremlin. I am so depending on our special counsel, Robert Mueller, to connect the dots, to connect those dots. Connect the dots. 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 The dots are connected. The dots are getting closer. If there was collusion, we'll get to collusion. I have no hopes for Mueller, as most people do. I think it's going to be proven that if Mueller does his job, I believe there was collusion, and collusion will lead to impeachment. This is going to lead right to impeachment. And he ought to be impeached. So I believe it is possible to impeach him. That we need to impeach him. How long is it going to take? I don't know, but I give it to about December. We've got to get the facts. We've got to do the investigation. That is what leads to impeachment. I think it will lead to the impeachment of this president. We've got him.
She's absolute really disgrace and has no
credibility.
Tongue-tied. Speak. And can I just say, Alex Jones needs back on Twitter. If Mad Maxine gets to do this, come on, you guys. Free Alex Jones. Talk about being freed. I think you guys have seen us wear our shirts from...
I don't want to do business with anyone.
1776.
I'm going to show you the website.
Worldwide.
1776 United. It's actually United.
United, whatever.
You guys need some American apparel. This is where you want to go. I love their shirts. They have new arrivals. Let's see. Remember every deployed.
Washington Adams 20. I like that.
George Washington. He and my homies would be stacking bodies by now. Me and my homies would be stacking bodies by now. Washington Adams 20. Oh, I have to get that one. Oh my gosh. I need that one. Yes, Lord. I love that. John Adams and George Washington. 2020, awesome. Baby. That's what I need. I need it. Tea Party. 1776 United. They have some of the cool vintage ones, so I'm thinking that Kansas... I need to get a new birthday present. That's when we get them. I get them from my friends. We want beer 1932, Prohibition. All
right, so tell them why you're talking about this.
Spring sale, 20% off, guys. Why am I talking about this? Well, Project Veritas went undercover. If you guys are banking at Chase, write them a letter. Tell them why you're leaving. Because... they just pulled the account of 1776 United and Laura Loomer and Gavin McInnes.
Who does business with Steve Bannon or any of these alt-right people.
This is a guy undercover saying, I don't want to do business with a business that does, business with like Steve Bannon.
All right.
Right. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we're not connected with Steve Bannon.
Do you have standards in place that would preempt such a relationship with anyone of Steve Bannon's? Really? Okay.
Definitely, yeah. Right. So Chase is not involved in any all right people or anything. I mean, I really can't name any names, but it's basically like. We don't get involved in any of that. We don't do business with any of those type of people. I mean, I certainly understand your concern. No, but we don't get involved with those type of people.
Shadow banning, deboosting, demonetizing, deplatforming. Recent Veritas investigations have exposed social media companies muting conservative political voices. But now we enter a new frontier, finance, and similar tactics seemingly being practiced by a major American bank. It's time to learn a new word, debanking.
So, I mean, on my end, I'm talking about people like, I don't know, like Trump supporters, for instance. The MAGA, whatever, whatever the hell those types of people. I mean, individuals.
Right. I know what you mean, but like I said, the call is being recorded and monitored, so I can't get political, and say we don't support these people or this, but any kind of business entity, people that have just no moral character or anything like that, the bank usually doesn't get involved with that.
I would think that a bank that I've had a relationship with for 15 years would be like the best person to do business with.
This is Enrique Tarrio, chairman of the Proud Boys and an entrepreneur who runs a controversial website called 1776.shop. He sells conservative merchandise, some of which is quite offensive. Nevertheless, if obscene words on T-shirts cause people to lose their bank accounts, Chase should be honest about it.
They go through a certification process. It took 3 months.
Listen, I have been in like stores like I don't know if I should go in those stores, but there's like stores in the mall that like sell like pro marijuana shirts. I guarantee you that and like bad shirts, horrible things. Even like there are some rock and roll shirts that are really perverse. Yeah. But Chase, I've never heard of Chase like ever saying you can't do business with us. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But this is a guy just showing like, and some of them are a little funny, and some of them I'm like, I'm not gonna wear that. Right. But they're not like that. They're not like that bad. Right. You know what I mean?
To do, I told them what my business was about, which was an online store selling T-shirts, hats, coins. Process with them without a problem for almost 2 months. I found a letter in my mail saying that the Chase Bank was going to close my account. Called both Chase Payment Tech and Chase Bank. Both operators gave me exactly the same thing. I've never seen this before. I actually can't tell you why. I found that really weird, and I found the timing of it really weird.
Yeah, so we have an alert that says accounts being closed by compliance. Position is not reversible.
Are we clear about this account closure?
Should be directed to the executive office.
That's why we came here, hoping to find more information, but there is nothing that we can tell the client. So now, can you speak with the client, or do you speak with the clients, or no? No, you don't speak to clients. No, they don't speak.
Yeah, they don't have anything. They won't discuss it, I guess.
It's mind-boggling to me. I see nothing that indicates any reason why the account should be closed.
Enrique was at one bank. The woman's like, yeah, no, it's fine. And then I think she sort of saw one screen and went, whoa, and got weird. That's what I get whenever I look at not just PayPal, but any of these things. Facebook, Twitter, they go, yeah, I know people there. I'll look into it. And then they come back going, I don't know who you pissed off, but something weird is going on.
I mean, I've been working with Chase since November. I've never seen this.
And that's just odd to me, based on the information provided. You've been with Chase for more than 10 years. You've had a business account with us. That's not new. You haven't had any, from your transaction history, nothing looks out of whack as far as the order in which you've been doing your transactions or handling your business. So,
like I get why.
Type of business could be.
I mean, I sell T-shirts, so.
Enrique Tarrio finally found someone at Chase who gave him an explanation, weak as it was.
No, so basically there was just a lot of information that was inconsistent with your account activity that we later observed. So
now, is there something specific that I said that was inconsistent?
Since account opening, we learned that your company's URL redirected users to the 1776 shop, which is owned by Fund of the West LLC. Chase has a relationship with the 1776 shop or Fund the West, and therefore couldn't conduct required due diligence.
So number one isn't true. Number one, I opened the account, and then number two, the 1776 shop has to go through a certification process through Chase. The reason for the URL that they told me that, because they don't know what 1776.shop is impossible. Because they went through a 3-month certification process on my website. They looked at the code on my website. They looked at my return policy. They made a checkout page with my logo on a Chase server, on a Chase website. I have emails between me and the certification.
Chase, in order to get Chase to process your payments for you, they go to your site. You know, Chase set up his little banking, thing to get businesses going,
Team with specific URL links to 1776.shop.
Okay. So what you can do is you're more than welcome to, provide us your dispute, provide a summary to your dispute to what I've informed you.
Mr. Tario says he took Nora up on her offer, addressing all the concerns about his accounts. But when April 1st came, the accounts, as promised, were closed.
Decision is not reversible. Decision is not reversible.
It is a decision that cannot be reversible.
I would give them the benefit of the doubt if they called me back and they told me, hey, look, it was a clerical error. I'm sorry. We'll get you back up and running.
Enrique Tario and other provocative conservative voices, Joe Biggs, Laura Loomer, and others, were debanked by Chase around the same time PayPal was openly purging Gavin McInnes and others for their political views.
I go to renew that account. It just says, you've been permanently suspended and you can't contest this ever. Click, click, click.
Was that just a coincidence? Or there are unwritten Chase policies that Enrique Tario and others were in breach of? We had a reporter call Chase to see if such policies do indeed exist.
I want to make sure we're talking about the same kind of people.
So we listen to that.
I mean, people like wherever the hell they...
I'd be fine with that, right? Typically. But I'm watching a pattern happen. I'm watching that first we get silence on social media, which is a new public square. Then PayPal. And then I get debanked. It's a very dangerous trend.
We called Chase Bank asking for comment. They did not return our call. We now call upon Chase to explain to its customers and shareholders what is going on. Is the bank following suit with PayPal's policy of debanking customers with controversial political views? If so, then like PayPal, own it. As a private institution ourselves, we, at Project Veritas, affirm your right to refuse service to anyone, but we also affirm transparency. Should your other customers sympathetic to Enrique Tario's views worry about their accounts as well? If not, will you disavow this practice of political debanking? We also call upon our viewers, Chase customers.
And here's where this is actually different and Project Veritas is actually wrong. Because banks are federally backed.
Yeah.
And so there has to be a free speech component. So let's say a baker is federally backed.
Yeah.
Then you are actually...
That's a really good point.
You'd actually have to align yourself with whatever federal law is or federal government is. And so because banks decided that, hey, if we fail, right, the government, which is you and me, we are the government. So if we are going to bail out the banks no matter what, then they have to abide by the Constitution and allow free speech and the First Amendment, and they have to be allowed for anybody who allows. You cannot deny a disabled person or a black person or anything like that, especially from banking, right? There's housing laws that you can't not allow a gay person to move in or a black person to move, or a Christian or Jew when you rent things, right? Because people need places to live. And there are certain laws that protect people. Now, if all banks wanted to pull out of federal backing,
which they should,
and then we would be in a totally different story. And at the same time, we're in an age where if banks start to do this, then there will have to be a federal sort of bank, because in order to pay your taxes, in order to do a lot of things, you have to have a bank, you have to have a checking account.
Yeah.
And the government has made it so that you have to have a bank account. So if they do that, they can't allow you not to have a bank account.
Well, and
it's like the mark of the beast type thing, but reversed.
It's like the government essentially coming in and telling 1776 that they can't operate business.
Exactly.
Based on their political, viewpoints.
So if I was a lawyer, I would definitely, and I think Project Veritas would do well to make that point, is that they're federally backed. They're not. Mom watching. That she's the one who played the
Deception Bites.
Deception Bites. She's cool. She's the one that played the Simpson thing with the
president speak for himself.
Okay, so here is we're gonna end our show because we got to get going. But Jay sent me this. Now, kids in the room. This guy, Dan Penna, he's a little crazy, guys. Okay, I didn't know much about him, but I guess he's a motivational speaker. He's a financial guy.
He has a potty mouth.
He has a potty mouth,
like a really bad one.
It's not.
I actually
this,
but in others, no, I watched part of this, but I've seen other of him, and I have trouble watching him. Actually.
This one you won't. This one's good, but if you have kids, there's a couple words. It's not bad. PG-13 is what I'm going to call this one, but
there's an F-bomb in it. I would say rated R.
Was it F? I guess he does say the one.
The title there.
Okay, well that's the only one that really stuck. I guess it didn't stick out to me, but you're gonna like this.
If my brief encounters and knowledge of him, he's 100 times harder than he is on TV. I mean, Trump is he's hard
in business.
Oh yeah, and I mean in politics. I mean, he doesn't give a shit. He's thrown out some very high profile, well thought of people out of his administration.
Mad Dog
Mattis.
Threw him out.
General Kelly. And some others.
What do you make of all that?
Well, I probably wouldn't have thrown out Mattis and Kelly, but I mean it's either his way or the highway. And but he's not always right. But he's been right about a lot of things. And I mean, if he does away with inheritance tax or death tax. I mean, for people with money, you have no idea what that means. To me personally, I mean, I'm registered to vote. You have no idea what that means. I mean, and there's a lot of rich people in America. And I'm not saying that.
I just want to say something about that because you're taxed your entire life, and you make up all this wealth. You should, and. Listen, American dollar aside, in theory, you shouldn't be taxed on death because you have already been taxed literally like 1,000 times over on all of that. And if you still have anything left over when you die, after you've been squeezed dry, and you want to leave that to your kids, when they use it, if they use it, they're going to be taxed on it in what they buy. The greediest tax, in my opinion, is the inheritance tax, the death tax. That is, by and large, the most evil tax. Because when you're bringing in income, they supposedly are looking at your income versus. But when the death tax comes, that's what you're leaving. That's your legacy to your kids.
Well, it's not just that, but it rightfully belongs to the other person. It's not like you're gifting something to someone. Okay. Right. I'm literally, I'm not going to be here. This person takes over my possession of these items.
It's literally like, so if we believe that kids, usually they're given to your kids. Usually they're you.
Right.
It's still you. It's still yours. It's still your part of your family. Like your kids are you. And so it's literally just a transfer. And for those who need to know,
you can,
in certain states,
you can do a POD or a TOD, which is payable on death, or transfer on death, and you can list that person before you die.
You can do that on stocks.
And you can do it on bank accounts.
On bank accounts.
And so
the only ones you can't do it is on checking accounts. If it's in your checking account.
Right. It has to be like a savings account.
No. It's a savings account. Yeah. It's certain states. Yeah. You definitely can.
So you need to look, you can look into that for if you, want to make sure that when you pass, you don't have to pass that, that tax along to your kids. But like, if a house goes into an estate,
yes,
that estate is going to have to be.
And so that's
I don't know if you. I mean, it's possible that you could do a TOD or a POD on a house.
I don't know.
I
think you have to transfer it. I really think, and I think that's
why.
I
think that people should do that ahead of time. By the way,
but it's 3 years. So if you get sick, and here's the thing. You know who it hits the worst is farmers, and that's why a lot of farms have lost their farms. So continuing.
Just for them, because he's done away with 40 or 50% of the bureaucracy of getting things done in Washington. That fourth member that he put on the Supreme Court, the most little guy that works in a gas station, doesn't understand what that means. We are going to be conservative votes from the Supreme Court for the next 30 or 40 years. And when Ginsburg either dies or retires, that means they're going to have a 5-3. We are going to be conservative down the line for 50 fucking years. No matter what the Democrats do. No matter how much they...
What this reminds me of is when we were down in Florida and we were talking to a prostitute and her boyfriend, and we were ministering to them and talking about the Lord. My mom was talking about God, and she's like, shut the F up. They're talking about God. We're gonna have blankety blank 50 years of pro-life judges. Come on. We're gonna have pro-life judges. Come on. We're gonna have, right. That's what I hear when I hear that.
Sure.
Okay, so that's why I wanted to play this, because throw out that, but I know what he's saying inside of himself is good.
Try. He knows what counts. It's the Supreme Court of the United States. And by hook or crook, he got the last two through. I didn't think he was going to get the last one through. And then the women that said that Kavanaugh raped them and all that shit, they have now, all three have come back forward and said, oh, one said, I just did it because I didn't like him. I didn't want him to be in there. I never even saw him in high school. And the two others say it was a lie.
Even the one that testified?
Correct. She lied. She now says...
No.
And, yes, she perjured herself. But she went in on a
that was a very strange and fascinating live thing to watch. That guy get examined and his statement and everything. What was happening there? What do we see with all of this?
It's because the people on the Hill that are on the Democratic side realized that if Kavanaugh got in, Trump was going to be one step closer to totally dictating policy for the next 40 years.
Right.
And he got in. And then the next guy got in. I mean, really, the Democrats are dead in the water.
Okay.
And if they get, when Ginsburg, and I hope she lives a long life, but when Ginsburg has to retire or, God forbid, dies, I mean, Trump will consider his presidency a success.
Okay. Does he get reelected next year?
Yep. And a landslide.
Landslide.
The Democrats are giving it to him. You Democratic fucking weenies, you're giving it to him on a platter.
Why?
They've got 21 people running against him.
Yeah.
They've got the guy from Starbucks running against him.
Yeah.
Bloomberg pulled out, I'm told.
Yes.
Everybody in the dog running against him.
There's some London Real guests that are running against him.
Yeah, and it just makes it easier for Trump. It just makes it easier because everybody's in disarray. Although there's one Republican, I forget his name, that says he's going to run against Trump. Yeah. That won't go anywhere.
It won't happen. All right,
no.
so Trump...
And even Biden says, we'll see what Biden does.
Okay. Now, you said always that political correctness is a manifestation of of a lack of self-esteem.
Yes, sir.
And Trump being elected showed us all what? What does Trump show us? Because everybody throws their arms up and says, look at this guy. You know, he's got no class, he lies, all these things, and yet he's our leader.
He is atypical, he's a microcosm of the populace of America. Everybody lies a little. They call it white lies. I remember getting smacked the shit out by a nun when I was a little boy saying...
Doesn't make it right. Okay? It just follow it, okay?
Well, I only said a white lie. Before I could get the word lie out of my mouth, she had slapped me twice. But he realized that what the gut feel of the average guy. And if you're a guy that is a truck driver, a coal mine, you're working in an automobile plant, or you're working in an office in Wall Street, when your buddy gets in trouble, normally you stick up for him even if he's wrong. Okay? Well, that's exactly what's happening. Because they're so sick and tired of the lying that comes out of Washington, D.C.
Right.
They're so sick and tired.
He's the blue collar guy.
Okay. He is taking advantage of it.
Right.
And they forget that he's a billionaire. And whether he started with 100 million or a million or whatever he started with, they've forgotten all that. Because he's done most of the things that he promised he's been able to do. And he's going to get that fucking wall done by hook or by crook. The
wall's just a symbol of him doing what he said he's going to do.
Correct.
And, you can argue if there already is a wall or maybe there will be a wall. Now it's just a symbol of him saying what he's going to do. And if he gets that, then he's going to have the vote again.
Yeah. Well, and right now, people like, even though he's not a regular Joe like a welder or a truck driver, but he talks in words that you can understand.
And that's really, really important. That's true. That Trump does speak in words that we can all understand.
There was another video that played after this with another clip, and what really kind of made me really want to play this was this other clip, because you could see him tearing up, and how he's like, I don't think we're going to be here as a human species in the next 200 years. And he said he had a dream where some blonde kid did some sort of open source code and saved everybody for cancer and all this stuff, and he reminds me of all these deplorables out there who, a little cray cray. He does transcendental meditation or stuff like that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I know. But the words coming out of his mouth, everybody has an issue, like a weird shtick. And Dan Penna here, it just blew my mind because he literally explained Trump's presidency in 5 minutes. Everything, hey, you just stick up for him because he's your buddy, even when he does stupid stuff. You know what I mean? Because he's sticking up for you in the big things. And that Supreme Court thing, he wasn't wrong, because it shouldn't be about the Supreme Court.
It's supposed to be the smallest branch of government.
But it is. And
but it isn't.
But it is today, is what I mean.
Right.
It's supposed to be, but it isn't.
Right.
The smallest branch. So, anyways, guys.
We have to sign off.
That's my show.
That's a good show.
Yep. That's our show.
All right, you guys. So we got the sound worked out.
Game over.
And we sang some songs. And we told you about our beloved Sydney crossing over the Rainbow Bridge. We're going to be back here on Sunday. It is Easter. We will probably... Well, you said we were... I think it'll be like a show. I think we'll probably do a news show because we do need to talk about Nigel's Brexit party. And then we'll do kind of a sing, praise, and worship Easter thingy. We'll just make it kind of shorter. I think that'll
all the time.
And then Britt Boz is in a package. We're going to do a mail call on Sunday. So I think that's what the Sunday show will be. Right?
Okay.
I think that's a good plan. We love you. God loves you. God bless. Remember, it's not just a conspiracy theory if it's the truth. And it's not just a conspiracy theory if Mueller's investigation turned out to be just a conspiracy theory. And it's going to get investigated and people are going to jail.
Amen. Preach it, girl. We have a P.O. Box.
107 Milford, Ohio 45150. Send us your letters. We want to read them on air. I feel like I'm missing something that we wanted to tell the people, but that's all right. We'll be back on Sunday, and I will remember.
Do we have any comments on that video? Because it's kind of a cool video.
I really didn't see too many comments on that one. They're probably shocked with all the F-bombs you threw at them on our Christian conservative television show.
You got to be able, like Mom says, smoking, cussing, drinking aren't the sins.
Exactly.
You got to look at the spirit of this person, and that his spirit was just right on.
I believe that. Yeah, it was a really good video. I'm glad that you shared it. Have a wonderful Good Friday.
They're all a bunch of weenies.
And have a happy Easter. We will see you on Easter. You're so ridiculous.
They're giving it to them.
Oh,
they're all a bunch of weenies.
Oh my gosh.
Like Oscar Mayer. Just go around with a little...
She's 5 years old.
I know.
She's like
5. I wish you were an Oscar Mayer weenie.
No, you're not singing that. We're ending the song. We're ending the show right here.
But I'm a socialist running for president.
Yeah. All right. Good night, guys.
I was cold, all alone. No place to home every day. So afraid, but you called my name.